Liverpool's sensational £150 million bid for Isak. Is the deal already done? Rúben Amorim has chosen his new goalkeeper for Manchester United. Thomas Müller has a new club, and it's a shock move. And United are choosing between two superstars. Which forward will lead Amorim's new-look attack? All that and loads more in today's episode. But before we get into it, as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Ready? Let's jump into the latest transfer rumors. Alexander Isak is, for now, still a Newcastle player, but probably not for long. The Swedish striker has no interest in staying. He didn't even join the squad for their pre-season tour in Asia. Imagine the level of frustration. The man wants trophies, not ninth-place celebrations. And that's where Liverpool step in. Newcastle are asking for a mind-bending £150 million. Yes, you heard that right, for a player who scored 26 goals last season. Impressive? Sure. But we're not talking Haaland. We're not talking Mbappe. Even the Premier League reportedly raised an eyebrow at that valuation, hinting that it could breach financial fair play logic. UEFA might not even count it as real revenue if PF tries to sell him to a Saudi club at a markup. There are rules now, believe it or not. Meanwhile, Liverpool have already agreed personal terms with Isak. According to Sky Sports, the Swedish forward is set to sign a 5-year deal at Anfield. Wages? Sorted. £350,000 a week, minimum. That's almost double what he earns at Newcastle. And let's be honest, he's worth it if he can stay fit and finish. The only thing standing in the way? Newcastle's price tag. But insiders say the club is starting to sweat. Why? Because if Isak starts pushing, their stance weakens. No club wants to deal with a star striker who's switched off mentally before the season even starts. And you're probably thinking, where's Liverpool getting the cash? 2 words: squad clear out. Luis Diaz is joining Bayern Munich, £75 million in the bank. Darwin Núñez is halfway out the door. Still hasn't delivered after his £100 million move and will bring in at least £45 million. Put the two together and boom, you've got the Isak budget. Now, Newcastle are playing tough. Their people are saying things like, "We don't care what Isak wants. Pay up or move on." Sounds cool. But financial fair play doesn't care how tough you talk. Newcastle need cash to strengthen the squad, and Isak is their biggest asset. So here's the standoff. Isak wants the move. Liverpool have the money and the contract ready. Newcastle don't want to sell, but kinda have to. Classic poker game, everyone bluffing, but all the cards are on the table. Liverpool have already signed 6 players under Arne Slot and Richard Hughes. And bringing in Isak could be the cherry on top. He's a proven Premier League scorer. Consistent, composed, clinical. Unlike a certain Uruguayan who misses more than he hits. Speaking of missing, over 80% of you watching still haven't hit that subscribe button. Come on, it's not a 30-yard volley. It's a simple tap-in. Don't miss out. Anyway, my prediction? The deal will happen. Newcastle will make noise, act all defiant, and then bring it down to around £100 to £110 million. Because the alternative is keeping an unhappy player, and that never ends well. There's still a month left in the window, plenty of time to get this done. And let's be real, after watching Darwin miss sitters for 2 years, any competent striker will feel like prime Messi. Thomas Müller's left Bayern, but nope, he's not retiring just yet. The man's 35 now, but still pulling off those clever little plays, squint and all. Like he's about to backheel in some outrageous pass. And guess where he's going? Across the pond. Literally. Word is, he's close to joining. Vancouver Whitecaps. Yeah, Vancouver. That team you've probably never even Googled until today. But now, they're going all in, trying to land one of the most iconic German players of the past decade and a half. World champ, endless Bundesliga titles. And let's be honest, in EAFC, his stats were always suspiciously realistic. No showboating, pure football brain. And no, this isn't a wild rumor. Müller himself confirmed it. Next move? Overseas. One problem though, he's not allowed to play in MLS just yet. Why? Because Cincinnati still hold his rights. Yep, only in MLS can a club buy the rights to talk to a free agent. Probably gonna cost way more than $400,000 too. Still, Vancouver are keen. According to Christian Falk, Müller's already turned down LA. Imagine that, sunshine, glam, Bayern's partner club. Nope, he chose Canada. Allegedly, it's the calm vibe he wants, though £8 million a year sounds anything but calm. If this deal happens, it's massive. Biggest ever for Vancouver, maybe even for Canadian football as a whole. They're second in the West. With Müller? Who knows, MLS Cup incoming. Talks with Cincinnati are on. MLS is now involved, so that here we go could be coming soon. Müller in Vancouver? Mad, innit? But kinda perfect. So, it looks like Manchester United have finally woken up and smelled the coffee. Rasmus Højlund, as good as he is, can't be a one-man army. The guy needs help. He needs a rotation option, some proper competition, and maybe even a partner up top. And get this, The Athletic says the club's got it down to 2 final names, and they are polar opposites. In one corner, we've got Ollie Watkins from Aston Villa, and in the other, Benjamin Šeško from RB Leipzig. It's the classic showdown. The experienced Premier League veteran versus the young, exciting hotshot from Germany. But hold on, before Sir Jim Ratcliffe gets his wallet out, he's got a massive clear-out job on his hands, thanks to the last lot. United desperately need to sell, and The Athletic even dropped a list of the dead wood that needs to go. We're talking Jadon Sancho, Antony, Tyrell Malacia, and Alejandro Garnacho. The plan, apparently, is to use the money from selling these guys to buy a brand new striker. So, who's it gonna be? Option 1, Ollie Watkins. And let's be real, he feels like the smart, safe play. The guy is Premier League ready. He knows this league like the back of his hand, no settling in period needed. Pace, clever runs, great in the box, good in the air, he ticks all the boxes. Watkins is always a danger, and he makes space for others to shine. Just picture it, a front three with Watkins leading the line, with guys like Kuna and Mbeumo they're linked with out wide. That's a scary thought for defenders. He'd be perfect for a high-press manager like Rúben Amorim. And the price? Villa wanted £60 million in January, but The Athletic reckons they could now be tempted with £45 million. For a player like him, that's a bargain these days. But what's the catch? Well, Watkins is 29, he's in his prime, sure, but for how long? There's zero resale value there. Now, Benjamin Šeško is the complete opposite. He's a gamble on the future. He's young, 22, incredibly talented, but let's be honest, he's very raw for English football. He had a pretty good season in Germany, he's built like a tank and has a cannon for a shot, but tactically, he's still learning the ropes. And the big worry is that United have been burned by these projects before. Ring any bells, Antony and Sancho? Is the club really up for that kind of risk again? It's a pricey gamble too. Fabrizio Romano says there's a gentleman's agreement in Šeško's contract that lets special clubs like United buy him for a cool 70 to 80 million euros, including bonuses. That's nearly twice what Watkins would cost. You know what's way cheaper than both of them? Hitting that subscribe button on my channel. It costs nothing. But for some reason, 80% of you are lurking in the background like United scouts hiding in the bushes at a Leipzig game. Come on, join the conversation, hit the button. And don't forget, Newcastle are now in the picture, flashing the cash. Romano says they've thrown a massive offer at the Slovenian, so what's it to be for United? The safe bet or the shiny new toy? After years of messy, failed transfers, maybe the boring but reliable Watkins is exactly what they need. It's not a sexy signing, I get it. It won't have fans rushing to buy the new kit, but it's a signing that could get them goals, right here, right now. Šeško is a lottery ticket. He could be the next Haaland, or he could be another expensive flop we see getting loaned out in a few years, and it seems like United know it. Journalist Ben Jacobs is saying the club's been talking to Villa again about Watkins. The price is the hurdle, but if Villa drop it a bit, it could be on. Right now, Man United doesn't need another one for the future. They need a goal scorer for today, and Ollie Watkins fits that bill perfectly. Barcelona. Never boring, are they? Right now, they're scrambling to raise funds, again, to register their latest signings, Marcus Rashford and Joan Garcia. And guess what? Joan LAPORTA thinks it's time to squeeze more out of Spotify. According to Mundo Deportivo, Barca's looking to shake things up with their headline sponsor, Dime. The current deal sees Spotify pay around 70 million euros per year, bonuses included. It runs until the end of this season. But Spotify have an ace up their sleeve, a one-sided option to extend the deal to 2030. If they do, the base payout remains 70 million euros a year, plus bonuses on top. Spotify are fully on board. In fact, they're dreaming of 2034 already, offering up to 80 million euros per year. Sounds generous, right? Not to LAPORTA. Barca's commercial team ran the numbers and decided their shirt is worth 120 million euros a year, minimum. And honestly, they might be right. The logic is simple. Tear up the current deal, and the queue of potential sponsors will go round the block. But here's the awkward bit. Spotify did show up when Barca were flatlining. They threw in serious money when nobody else dared. Now that Barca are back in the big leagues, LAPORTA wants a new deal. Loyalty? Sentiment? Nah, just business. Reports say he's aiming for a major upgrade from 2026 and 80 million euros. Not even close. So here's the question for you. Should Barcelona stick with the partner that backed them at rock bottom? Or is LAPORTA spot on? Time to cash in, no hard feelings. Drop your thoughts in the comments. You lot always have something good to say. You might have missed it, but the Lucas Paqueta saga? Yeah, it's finally reaching the finish line. Just think back. A 27-year-old magician in midfield, one of the best in the Premier League, was facing a potential lifetime ban. The charges? Betting on his own games, game manipulation. Basically, career suicide. No club in their right mind would touch that, right? But the verdict's in, and Paqueta's clear. The FA dropped everything. He's officially off the hook. Celebration time? Not quite. West Ham already moved on. They've written him off. The plan? Sell him this summer. And the Saudi interest? It's not a rumor. It's real. 2 years ago, Manchester City wanted to throw £80 million at him. Today? He's worth maybe £30 million. Max. No joke. What happened? Time happened. While Lucas was sitting it out, trying to clear his name, others took the spotlight. West Ham kept playing, he didn't. And now he's not that same midfield genius everyone raved about in 2022. No one's paying £60 million for that. 30? That's the going rate. It's tough. The guy's innocent but still loses out. But here's the twist. West Ham aren't panicking. They've got a plan. Graham Potter's in, a rebuild's coming. Selling Paqueta frees up funds for the new project. And guess who's circling? Tottenham. Daily Mail says Spurs are seriously looking at him. Thomas Frank wants a number 10 who can deliver now, not a maybe in 2 years project. Paqueta has played in the league, knows the pace, has the quality. He'd bring instant creativity and control. Spurs want top 4? Lucas fits that plan. Not a guaranteed starter every week, but in the rotation, he's gold. So yeah, looks like Paqueta's West Ham days are numbered. 30 million isn't bad business. For Spurs, it's smart. For Paqueta, a career reboot. And West Ham, they'll pocket the cash and start again. The real question, will Spurs pull the trigger before the window shuts? Word is, yes, talks are already in the final stages. But what do you think? Is Lucas Paqueta a legit signing or just papering over cracks? Drop your takes in the comments. Let's talk. While United fans are busy debating center backs on Twitter, Rúben Amorim is focused on something way more urgent, the goalkeeping situation. And honestly, it's a mess. Andre Onana had a nightmare season. From error after error to zero confidence in the box, he went from elite prospect to major liability in 12 months. Altay Bayındır, he's just there. Nowhere near the level needed at a club like United. By the way, leave a like or drop a comment if you're watching. It genuinely helps a ton, especially if you're still here, you legend. Now, here's the twist. PSG are signing Lucas Chevalier from Lille. That's right, the guy who was a brick wall last season. That instantly throws Donnarumma's status into chaos. His deal runs out in 2026. PSG aren't planning to renew, and Donnarumma wants to stay in France. But Paris look ready to move on. So guess who's ready to pounce? United. Amorim reportedly sees him as the ideal number 1. Reflexes, presence, leadership, and let's be real, a massive upgrade on Onana, especially if United can offload Onana for around £20 million. Bargain. United do have a shortlist, but Donnarumma is top of it. And if PSG are ready to sell, United should move fast. Because other clubs are circling, City are watching, even Galatasaray are poking their noses in this summer. Yeah, his wages are massive, €7 million plus bonuses. But if the Onana money frees up space, this could be a rare shot at getting a truly world-class keeper without breaking the bank on the transfer itself. Imagine next season, no more nervy back passes, no more Twitter memes. Just Donnarumma standing tall at Old Trafford, but only if United don't fumble it again.